watch on the whistle. Riders ready? Tap 4-5 on course. Tap 4-5 on course.
Here we are, third race. Going in solo.
Our third race? Your third race.
Yeah, my third race. Just by myself today, and you'll see as I do horrible, unlike Ben.
Dude, you shouldn't give out any spoilers. The key to a good video is you've got to keep people on the edge of their seat. No one knows what's going to happen at this point.
That's true. I mean, I was kind of like, I was just assuming that it was going to be a similar course to last time, and then they were like, oh, there's a U-turn at the bottom. And I was like, this should be interesting.
I saw this. I mean, I went and I looked at a couple of the other races from this day, and it looks really cool. Like the extra complication and actual technical crit. So Will, how different is it running a technical crit to the four corners that you and I are kind of used to?
Oh yeah,
now?
I mean, well, for me it was just even more surgy because you have to do like a full-blown sprint right after, you know. So it's not really much. It's more of a surgy effort than a constant effort, and I just did not have the fitness coming in today to handle that.
You know, I'm sure that you're in like the same boat of a lot of people in this field. The other thing too is that I don't think a lot of bicycle racers know how to downshift, how to stay in power band. I mean, if you're mostly racing on flats, right?
Well, I didn't do that either. I had a few that I missed the downshifts, and here like you just kind of get bunched up and.
Did you downshift? Did you downshift through here or no?
Some of them I did, but not all of them, bro.
Oh my god!
Because you're slamming on the brakes. You're slamming on the brakes, so it's kind of like you have to get the shifting done before you brake. And
yeah, exactly. That's the thing.
But it's hard because you're trying to go like, I don't know. Some of them you could get it easier than others, but yeah, this was the U-turn, and this is the first time taking it, so like kind of slammed on the brakes here, and
I don't see any shifts either.
Yeah, it got. I shifted a couple times there, but
you shifted right at the bottom of the corner. You should be shifting as you slow down.
It was easier said than done, but I had some that I didn't even shift at all. But yeah, so I mean, you sprint right out, almost 30 miles per hour here.
Jeez, and this seems brutal.
It wasn't always that fast out of it, but I honestly was just not that confident. I mean, like I was very relaxed coming in, but I just wasn't that confident. I was really like staying toward the back of the pack, and this field just got so strung out compared to others. Like it was very like too wide, you know, and a lot of times it went just like single wide, and you can just see gaps are just already. I can't really close these gaps, so like I don't know. It was definitely just right off the bat, I knew it was going to be a lot tougher today, but.
It does look safer though, and that's the thing that surprised me because you told me about this new configuration over the phone, and seeing it now, it really does string out the pack. Like you're seeing like a 3-wide peloton, which is really skinny compared to how it normally is on the 4 corners. You're seeing guys 5, 6 wide usually.
Yeah, I agree.
So maybe it was like a safety thing, right?
Yeah, I don't even know, but. I thought it was going to be more dangerous, to be honest, because of that U-turn, but people seem to just take it a lot more. I don't know. You have to slow down to a certain extent in that U-turn, so yeah. But yeah, so
you see someone braking in front of you, and I mean it's hard not to hit the brakes through there. So were there any crashes in this race?
I don't think there was any at all. Yeah, it was pretty clean. I think the only sketchy part, at least for me, was sometimes you hit that U-turn a little wide, which you'll see later in the video. But I mean, like we're doing pretty good, and this is a pretty good little.
You're in the wind too.
Yeah, I know. Jeez. This just wasn't smart by me. I just couldn't.
Like ahead of you.
Yeah, I just couldn't make these like cover these gaps, and I just felt like I was always going backwards.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't seem like you're slotting behind anyone, even when you have a couple of options ahead of you, right? Like even
Yeah,
this guy in the white, you were offset before. Why weren't you getting right behind the guy ahead of you's wheel? Like
I don't
even now
know.
you're offset. You see what I mean?
Yeah, well, at the time, I just like I don't know, dude. I just wasn't I just wasn't moving up. I don't know. It seemed very hard to catch these people's wheels, honestly. But
The point that I would make though is that like in this situation you have a lot of freewheeling. Why not slot directly behind a wheel? Because I'm looking at where you're placed on the road in comparison to the guys ahead of you. And even here, like you're eating wind. Why wouldn't we go right behind them?
yeah, I mean, I guess looking back onto it, I probably should have. I don't know. I think a certain extent too, I was a little like cautious, maybe overly cautious today, and I just didn't want to
Mhm.
get right on somebody's wheel because I knew that you're gonna have to do like a U-turn here, and there was more
Mhm.
corners than usual. So I don't know. Maybe that's kind of what I was thinking, but
You already had enough unknowns in one day.
yeah, I guess so.
Makes a
but
lot of sense.
but yeah, here's the U-turn again, and
Oh, what an opportunity, though. Let's talk about shifting technique. So, I think I'm gonna beat up on you a little bit today, but
well, I didn't even
but
shift on a couple of them. So I mean, there's that.
I mean, yeah, there's that. I mean, you did downshift here, but should we be downshifting like at the end of our deceleration or like at the beginning?
Well, probably the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, probably the beginning. Like think about it like just like in car racing or motorcycle racing. As you're setting up for the corner, you want to get your deceleration and your braking done before any cornering takes place. So like as you're getting up to the corner, downshift before you even start touching brake because there's no acceleration you need to do up to that corner. Most people are freewheeling, right?
Yeah, yeah. That definitely would have
That's
been the smarter way to do it.
Yeah, that's an excellent opportunity to what downshift probably 2 to 3 times, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, definitely I feel like that trying to sprint out of your big gear is
Yeah.
like very taxing.
Yeah. No, I can tell. And you see, look here too, you're eating a lot of wind out of here, even now.
Yeah, well, it's just because like
Yeah.
it just got single file like really quickly, and I was like, oh shoot, I wasn't in the line, so I was like, dang it. But
I think that this is a great example of reactive riding. Like you felt like you were on the back foot the whole day, right?
yeah, pretty much.
Um, the next time, I mean, I hope they keep this configuration because like it it just looks wild for
hmm
starts, like it looks entertaining. But if you're in this situation again, as you exit the corner, a lot of guys are in your same situation. They're they're downshifting or they're like running like a super low cadence out of the saddle, just trying to get their bike going again. At that moment, if you already have your gears sorted out, you can focus on finding a fast wheel to slot behind. And as you accelerate, you could accelerate directly behind someone else who knows what they're doing, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. And that would help big time. Like I agree. Like I'm pretty sure the people who did well in this race
Mhm.
took that U-turn really well.
But more than just that is as they're exiting the corner, instead of thinking about, oh, I still need to downshift, they're
hmm
thinking, okay, how can I get behind the wheel ahead of me?
Yeah, true.
Whereas I think you had information overload, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, like I said, I think I was just like being overly cautious today. I don't know. It really wasn't like I don't know. Like it's hard to explain, but I think I just wasn't really like had the mindset to continue to pass people.
Mhm.
I was like, no, let me just stay back and like watch how things happen. And that did not work. I mean, at this point, like the race was still kind of okay for me. I mean, like I'm with the main peloton here,
Yeah.
probably about like maybe mid pack, but
Is that Mario ahead of you?
no, that's just like
Just another
maybe.
go
Well, I
fast
don't know.
guy.
There's a lot of the go fast guys on this one, but
How many guys did they have in this field?
I think they ended up saying 67. So I think that was
Oh,
the same as the last one.
man, what a pack. Yeah, that's a different guy.
But yeah, see that I'm in my big gear right there.
Yeah, and so is that guy ahead of you. But like as you see here, these guys fanning out,
hmm
it's taking purple wheel or taking red wheel, but making a decision because I I think what the main repetitive mistake here is you're not decisive to take a wheel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It
I
was
mean,
just like I don't know, man. I was really just like sitting in the back seat, and then it really like kind of hurt me.
this reminds me a lot of our first time on this course when they were just doing the four corner and it was a traditional layout. You remember all of the winds that I was eating in that
hmm
video?
Yeah, yeah, true.
Yeah, it's similar. I think we've got like a lack of situational awareness here.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it was probably just like I don't know, like it was probably that, and
Like
yeah, I just don't know what I was thinking,
even
honestly.
this right here, like think about how much lag you have in getting behind this guy. Because
hmm
you drift over, but you take way too long. That's the wheel to hold right there ahead of you.
Yeah,
One
yeah, very
guy is
true.
like 7 feet tall.
hmm
Uh,
I guess like some of this, I was just like, I was pretty tired already. Like I really was not at peak fitness entering this, and it's like I don't know. I guess I'm pretty sure my legs were just already burning up at this point. So
yeah, I'd imagine so. I mean, it looks brutal.
I mean, you can
Are
see
you at
like
the
we're already.
back of the peloton now?
Yeah, I'm sure there's people behind me, but I mean, this is not where you want to be. I'm
No,
having to work
no.
way harder than the people up there. So
What could you have done differently before this moment?
I don't know. Well, I mean, like you said, just better positioning overall.
Yeah, yeah.
I
There's
think I
that.
I had to go in with a mindset of like trying to move up instead of just staying in the back and seeing how things go. I feel like because that Peloton effect really does help with the drafting and just being with other people. I don't know. I definitely feel like I was being like like kind of like continually like shot out of the Peloton. Like that's how it felt
Yeah,
to me.
yeah. You're getting spit out the back.
Yeah, exactly. So
Let's talk about that specifically. Um, there are two ways to ride this race. At least in my very limited experience, I can dictate two ways to ride this race. One is to have an aggressive style and to make moves to work your way up the peloton. And
mhm.
the second, which is more similar to what you're doing, is a more reactive style, which is not how I ride personally, but there's a good way to do it. And if you're going to come into this and say I'm not going to make any moves, I want to play it safe, that's fine, but I still think there's a way to maximize that strategy. um, let's look at what happens here, okay?
Yeah. So another
So, yeah,
U-turn.
you're holding a wheel, but you're getting out of the saddle. Why did you even get out of the saddle there?
I don't know, dude. I was very surgy, honestly. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, honestly.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. If we're going to minimize the surge and we're running a reactionary race,
Oof.
I think it comes down to reflex time. If
Mhm.
you see the guy ahead of you and it looks like he's pushing away from you, it's reacting instantly and not waiting for a gap to open up, but closing the gap before it even forms, right? That was a better acceleration.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, I'm not there, but I would try to do an acceleration like that in the saddle. In the
Yeah.
right
True.
gear, conserving energy.
I mean, my legs were hurting at this point, bro. Like,
Yeah, I can
honestly,
imagine.
I was thinking, I was like, dude, am I even gonna finish this race? Honestly, and we were
Yeah,
only this is like about the halfway point, or maybe a little
yeah.
bit further, but
And
it was a struggle, man.
How many miles did this end up as?
I think a little over 11. But you can see here, like the wheels that I was kind of following, you know, they were kind of falling back too, and so like that kind of put me, you know, I had to close the gap myself, and people, you can just see how strung out the field is. Like it is a long, I'm a long ways from the front of the pack.
Yeah, and that kind of comes down to what we were alluding to in previous videos, but you weren't able to see firsthand.
Mhm.
Um, I like to ride the front of the pack, eat some wind, put out a little bit more power, but and I do it for this reason. There's that accordion effect that you feel over here in the back, right?
Yeah, yeah, it's really true. It's just like like every time I try to put in a little effort to catch up, I just was immediately put right back. It was so hard to close these gaps. Like I know like I shouldn't have a gap here, but it was like so hard to close these for me.
And it's just super inefficient because once
Hmm.
you close the gap, then all of a sudden people slow down.
Yeah, exactly, right. And like
Yeah.
this was like we're going downhill.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Well, there's this other thing too. You and I are from small town Bakersfield, California. This is probably the best lesson you or I are going to get in stop and go traffic. This
Yeah,
race right here. I
that's
mean,
true.
yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, come on, close the gap. Close the
Dude,
gap. Come
I'm going
on.
31, bro, and this makes no dent.
Well, it is a -1% grade, so I don't
Hmm.
think we can just go on speed.
Yeah, I know, but it's still it's like it's pretty wild that you can go like 31 and
Mhm.
not even make any move.
Can
That's
can I can I just say something that's counterintuitive, and it might even be stupid. You tell me if this is a ridiculous concept. I know you didn't want to move up and whatnot, but this isn't working. Here's my thought.
mhm.
Every lap up to this point, you see a lot of freewheeling, uh, even through this corner and then in the next consecutive two corners, especially in the braking zone. Why not just pedal up to that braking zone? Actually use your brakes in a crit, but move up 5 or 6 wheels firsthand. So at least you have some shelter. Because one guy versus a Peloton's worth of shelter,
Mhm.
I mean, you see what I'm saying?
No, I agree. The back of the pack was not where you wanted to be for this. I had to have been more dominant and like move up for this to even really
Let,
work.
let's let's contrast this to your last race. What was your placement in our previous video in our race up in Ontario?
Well, that was Cat 5, but I mean, I was gonna. It was like the first one I did here was middle, so like 30 out of 67,
Mhm,
and
mhm.
and this is where I get dropped pretty much.
God, oh man,
You can see like
yeah.
I'm pushing a really big gear. I didn't shift right, and the Peloton just took off, which rightfully so. Like this was a horrible sprint out of
Yeah.
this. But
Let me just say something that totally is easier said than done.
mhm.
But I mean, this wasn't a surprise, the Peloton moving away from you, right?
No, I knew it was gonna happen. I felt like I was barely holding on the whole race.
Th- This is the part of bicycle racing that is often said, but is difficult to do in practice. Oh, geez. Oh, this is bad.
That's
This is
I was like,
bad.
well, the race is over.
Are they going to take you off the track?
Oh no, I finished. Thankfully, we're going to the finish line, and there's 2 laps to go. So
Okay.
thankfully, I was able to finish this race.
I'm looking on your Strava, and I guess we could link it, but
Hmm.
we're just at 11 and a quarter mile here
Yeah,
for the full race. But what a horrible 11 miles.
tell you what, bro. So
Right.
I took out me soloing by myself. I was really like in a gap just by myself when we're jumping to the last lap. So Peloton is way ahead.
Oh gosh.
I'm just kind of looking for people to work with at this point, and
How big of a group are you in right now?
so I think I really did not look back at this point. I think it was just me and this guy.
Okay.
But there is a few people up front that we end up kind of catching on to. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not ready to give up.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know why, but I kept on thinking, I was like, maybe I could catch up to the Peloton. You know, like I was trying to be positive. Like, you pay money to race these, so like, I'm not going to just stop racing.
You're gonna get my money's worth.
Yeah, so like, I'm still putting in an effort, you know.
Dude,
And
what are you doing?
I was trying to go fast. I would say, let me take the pull and try to keep the speed up.
Let's go down to what we were talking about when I was back in town. Remember that big ride we did to Enos, and we were taking turns?
Mm-hmm.
That is not how you take a pull.
Okay.
Under no circumstances. If you're trying not to drop this guy, I mean, you're trying to work with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't ever get out of the saddle. It's not aero, and it's impossible, well, or at least very difficult, to move slowly up to a faster speed. I mean, look at how baby that pull was anyway. I mean, probably because you burned a lot of energy just accelerating. You were out of the saddle a lot in this race, right?
Yeah, I was. I don't know.
I get out of the saddle all the time when I'm climbing, but in a crit race, only in sprints. And honestly, I don't think your issue here is conditioning. I think it just comes down to cycling efficiency. What are your thoughts on that? Like, does this look efficient to you?
No.
Not at all.
Yeah, like this dude, like I picked the worst spot to like, I don't know why I pull off this side. Like we're about to enter a U-turn. And so like I took this like way too fast, bro. Like I almost won.
Oh, you totally did.
Yeah.
Another thing too, since this is the last lap and it's only a couple of corners to go, if you really wanted to cut this guy off and make him work, you should have stayed directly to the right of him coming into this corner to block his exit. Just like if you were racing cars, you're blocking him from taking an optimal line. I mean, I didn't see any point in that. I'm glad you didn't crash.
I wasn't that close. So, yeah.
It looked worse on the GoPro.
There were people who, because that's not a curb right there. It's like a driveway, so like you could go up on that.
Hold up, we've got a left and a right to the end of this race, right? Is this the final corner right here?
There's two corners.
Two corners. Okay. Yeah. Oh, why are you letting him drop you? Come on.
I didn't let him drop me, bro.
Get in his draft.
Dude. This was the hardest part of the course for me, other than the U-turn.
Freaking draft.
There's like
why are there 5 bike links between you and White Shirt? Why are you out to the left? Come on.
I don't know, man.
What are you doing?
Well, there was a rider to my right a little bit, but
screw him. This is the last turn, right?
Yeah, this is the last turn.
Get really close. Come on, let him lead you out. Let him. Come on, we're gonna pass him, right? That's an early sprint, bro. That's an early sprint. That's an early sprint.
I love how this is like so pathetic, bro. Like,
honestly. My God, look at how far away it is. No.
It's so bad.
Oh my gosh.
Dude took it. No. Dude took it.
No, of course he did. Look at that. Of course.
Oh,
I'm surprised the guy in the black didn't get you either.
Yeah. That was not good.
I think when it comes down to it, separating out each individual variable, you know, whether it's just focusing on downshifting or focusing on taking in a wheel or being more assertive in moving up the pack, focusing on something like that is what's really going to make the difference. Because now you're not thinking about not crashing. You're thinking about being productive, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So maybe that's the thing. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to not to want to keep all of your teeth. But the more productive and probably the safer thought you can have in this race is, okay, what can I do to move up? What can I do to be assertive? And that'll probably make you a safer rider for the people around you too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Well,
Okay. Well, are we going to sell our bike? Is that the next thing? Are we selling the Garmin, the bike?
I know. I'm kind of glad things went the way it did because I felt like the first two races for me, I'm not going to say they were easy, but I
But
did a lot.
they went really well. They
I
might
did a
have
lot
set up
better.
false expectations.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did a lot better than I thought I was. And so I
Mhm.
feel like this race kind of showed, you know, like, I don't know, it showed me like you really have to be on
Uh-huh.
your game
Yeah.
to do well in these, and you will get exposed if you don't. so,
Oh yeah, that's
so
right. Well, that's a great plug for our other videos.
mhm.
If you're interested in our first two races, this is race 3 in Will and my collective racing experience. Race 1 and 2 are on the channel. Race 1 is the same course, different layout, and race 2 up north in Ontario, both with some pretty good results from both of us. So anyway, if you're looking for a contrast, there's that. I think that covers it. Uh,
Yeah.
like and subscribe if you liked what you watched.
All
All
right.
right,
Yep.
later.